What if I told you that an MMA fighter could indulge in junk food every single day, yet still dominate his opponents in the cage?
More volume. He needs to be landing in combinations.
Sounds impossible, right? But that's exactly what happened with Saul Poppy, who went from struggling in the Philippines to dominating YouTube boxing arenas, racking up millions of followers and earning the respect of boxing legends. Didn't just wake up one day to fame. Saul Poppy's rise to prominence is one of dedication, passion, and sheer willpower. But before he became the face of viral dance moves and knockout punches, he was just Nathaniel Bustamante, a young boy inspired by none other than Filipino boxing legend Manny Pacquiao.
Never fails to surprise me with what he brings to the table. It's always a little better than I thought.
Growing up in the Philippines, Saul Poppy had dreams, and like many kids in his country, boxing was one of them. His idol was Pacquiao, the boxing icon who made history. As a child, Nathaniel would mimic Pacquiao's moves in his backyard, dreaming of the day he'd step into the ring himself. But life in the Philippines wasn't easy. Financial struggles were a constant reality for his family, and access to boxing gyms was limited. School wasn't much easier either, as Saul Poppy had to face bullying regularly, fueling his anger and pushing him into frequent fights. These early battles shaped his resilience and fueled his desire to prove himself, not just in the ring, but in life. Determined to defend himself and rise above his circumstances, Nathaniel trained in boxing, learning the ropes on his own, driven by the need to overcome his personal battles. His early years were marked by sacrifice and self-discipline, and at the age of 13, his family made the life-changing decision to move to the UK in search of better opportunities. But Nathaniel didn't immediately find his calling in the sport. Instead, he began a career in nursing, helping others. But deep down, his passion for boxing never waned. It wasn't long before Saul Poppy's unique brand of content on TikTok caught fire. His dance videos gained traction, and soon enough, millions of fans were watching his every move. But dancing was just the beginning. Saul Poppy's love for boxing reignited, and in February 2022, he was set to make his mark in the ring. On March 5, 2022, Saul Poppy faced British YouTuber Halal Ham in a highly anticipated match at the SSE Arena in London. Months of preparation led to this, and as the bell rang, the two fighters went toe-to-toe.
Saul Poppy in the red, Halal Ham in the blue. Ooh. And Halal came straight out but got caught.
Despite the hype, it was clear who the real fighter was. Saul Poppy dominated Halal Ham, winning the match by unanimous decision.
Saul Poppy!
But Saul Poppy wasn't done yet. His next challenge came when he faced Canadian Twitch streamer Andy Worski in a fight that left everyone speechless. From the first round, the crowd erupted as Saul Poppy's fists did the talking. His victory came in record time, solidifying his place in YouTube boxing history. The internet buzzed, and Saul Poppy was becoming more than just a viral sensation. He was a real force in the boxing world.
Pride of the Philippines, Super
In December 2022, another announcement took the boxing world by surprise. Saul Poppy would face American MMA fighter Josh Bruner on the undercard of KSI vs. FaZe Temper at the Grand Wembley Arena in London on January 14, 2023. The atmosphere was electric as both fighters went to war, leaving the fans on the edge of their seats. Saul Poppy's victory was hard-earned, showcasing his strength and unwavering determination. Saul Poppy's journey has been a mix of triumphs and challenges. From his early influences, including his idol Manny Pacquiao, to his rise as a YouTube boxing sensation, his path hasn't been easy, but it's been filled with passion. The respect from boxing legends like Chris Eubank Jr. and Pacquiao himself proves just how far Saul Poppy has come. Pacquiao's invitation to have Saul Poppy as his co-main event was a massive milestone, marking Saul Poppy's rising status in the world of boxing. But as Saul Poppy's star rose, so did the competition. On April 14, 2023, Saul Poppy was set to return to the ring, this time facing MMA fighter Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor on May 13, 2023. It was a highly anticipated matchup, but Saul Poppy's rhythm was off. After a valiant effort, the judges awarded Anthony Taylor a unanimous decision victory. But despite the loss, Saul Poppy's story is far from over. In boxing, victories and defeats are part of the journey, but Saul Poppy's story reminds us that a fighter's heart burns brightest in the face of adversity. Even in defeat, he remains determined to conquer new challenges and keep pushing forward. His journey is a testament to the power of resilience and passion, qualities that have defined his rise in both social media and boxing. From being a young boy inspired by Manny Pacquiao to a rising star in the boxing world, Saul Poppy's story continues to inspire. In the fast-paced world of YouTube boxing, where unexpected matchups can lead to astonishing results, Saul Poppy is more than just a viral sensation. He's proving that with the right mix of dedication, passion, and a little bit of swagger, anything is possible. And as for the future, well, there's no stopping this rising star, and we can't wait to see what comes next. Tony Ferguson has made a remarkable return to the ring, proving that even in the latter stages of his career, he remains a force to be reckoned with. In a fight where many counted him out, Ferguson demonstrated an impressive array of skills, securing a third-round TKO victory over Saul Soul Poppy. The win highlighted Ferguson's refined boxing techniques, which were built on his signature pressure, cardio, and reach. One of Ferguson's most impressive assets in this fight was his ability to utilize his reach effectively. Despite Saul Poppy's explosive style, which relies on rapid offensive bursts, Ferguson systematically wore him down through consistent pressure. Poppy's attempts to land powerful left hands were thwarted by Ferguson's superior distance control. By maintaining control over the range and closing the distance at the right moments, Ferguson neutralized Poppy's power shots. Ferguson's strategy was clear. He used his jab and superior reach to prevent Poppy from landing clean strikes, forcing him into uncomfortable positions and dictating the pace of the fight. As the rounds progressed, Poppy's energy depleted rapidly, a direct consequence of trying to land his shots while Ferguson kept his composure and continued his relentless pursuit. Notable in this performance was Ferguson's improvement in defense. Traditionally known for his unorthodox and sometimes reckless style, Ferguson showcased more fundamental defensive skills, an adjustment likely made to adapt to the nuances of boxing. He displayed better head movement, rolling with punches, and keeping his chin down, skills rarely seen in his MMA career. This was particularly important, as boxing, unlike MMA, places greater emphasis on technical defense. Throughout the fight, Ferguson was able to absorb several of Poppy's power shots that might have previously floored him in MMA. A key moment came when Poppy landed a clean left haymaker to Ferguson's chin, a punch that, under different circumstances, might have been a knockout blow. However, Ferguson took the hit in stride, absorbing the damage and continuing to press forward. His ability to withstand these punches highlighted a potential resurgence in his resilience, even as he ages. While Poppy's explosive movements were initially effective in the early exchanges, they quickly became a liability. His constant springing forward, relying heavily on his left hand, drained his energy, and Ferguson capitalized on this by maintaining a steady pace. Poppy's shots lacked the consistency required to maintain a sustained threat, and his attempts to counter Ferguson were often ineffective. One of the key tactical elements of the fight was Ferguson's ability to force Poppy into defensive positions. Poppy, despite his agility and offensive bursts, struggled to deal with Ferguson's pressure. A prime example came when Poppy attempted to retaliate with a left hook. Ferguson expertly slipped the shot and countered with a sharp right hand to the body, followed by another jab to the face. The combination of offense and defense proved overwhelming for Poppy, who began to lose his rhythm as the fight progressed. By the second round, the momentum had clearly shifted in Ferguson's favor. After controlling the first round with consistent jabs and body shots, Ferguson's confidence grew. He began to push Poppy back with a series of powerful jabs and counters, forcing Poppy into the corner and maintaining the fight's tempo. When Poppy tried to retaliate, Ferguson was quick to slip and roll, showcasing his improved head movement and defensive positioning. An important moment came when Poppy's lack of defensive response to Ferguson's pressure became apparent. Poppy, who had been on the back foot for much of the second round, failed to react appropriately to Ferguson's offensive onslaught, leading to multiple flush shots landing. The lack of respect from Poppy towards Ferguson's boxing fundamentals allowed the latter to dominate the pace and distance, proving that experience and fight IQ can often outweigh raw power. Ferguson's win over Poppy was not just a victory in the ring, it was a statement. The once unpredictable, unorthodox fighter had honed his skills to match the technical demands of boxing. While it would be premature to call this a return to his prime, Ferguson's performance in this bout suggests that he still has much to offer the sport. The fight itself showcased Ferguson's growth as a boxer, particularly in terms of defense and controlling the ring. His ability to manage distance, absorb punishment, and maintain relentless pressure throughout the contest allowed him to break Poppy's will and secure a TKO win. However, one must note that Poppy, despite his explosive style, did not provide the same level of challenge that other elite boxers would. Tony Ferguson's potential future in boxing looks promising, but he must face more seasoned opponents to truly assess his capability in this new arena. Nonetheless, this victory is an encouraging sign that Ferguson, even in the later stages of his career, remains a dangerous and unpredictable force in combat sports.